Okay. And then let's tweet this out. Oh, we got some people from Sony tweeting that Rocket League podcast. Hopefully people listen.
Oh yeah, cool.
Oh. Let's see, Bossman Crowder, C Crowder, and me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then pop out the chat. Dude, that Mega Man news has me so excited.
Yeah, it's a little weird though. I guess I guess I just thought they would maybe at least, because I know they did 1 through 6 the NES games. I thought they'd maybe include maybe 9 and 10.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I
But
don't like, and so in 7 and 8's weird too, because 7 was
yeah.
Super Nintendo, 8 was like 8 just came out on the PSN store, so that's weird.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like that was my initial reaction too, but maybe there's something, like maybe there's some weird hurdle that they'd have to get over. I'm gonna send you an invite. I'm just more excited from the game preservation angle, where they're like, because I was thinking about it earlier, and I figure like, okay, they got this engine that they can just potentially port to whatever, and they would like make the game for that engine. So if you got like this, you get like Castlevania, you get your Contras or whatever. Like eventually, you know, when the PlayStation 6 comes out, we just have like 10 like old school games ready to go.
Yeah.
That's my hope. That
That'd be
seems to be their promise, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
You mean PlayStation Now isn't the answer? I really don't want that to be the case.
Yeah, we talked about that on our predictions show.
Oh
last
gotcha.
night. It's yeah. I mean, I hope not. I really would love. I really hope they announce like PS1 games.
Yeah.
For like PS4, without like not PlayStation Now specific though.
Yeah. You might have to send me another invite. I got an error message when I.
Okay, let me try again. All right.
There we go. Let's see if it works this time.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I was just thinking, like, the only way to play PS1 games for me right now is on my Vita, and I would love to, like, just pop in a PS1 game and stream it, or something like that.
Yeah.
And,
definitely.
you know, if they stick with PlayStation Now for that stuff, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it had me there for a minute, and then it kind of.
Oh, good.
Shot me back out.
Let me leave the lobby. Let me try again.
Okay.
Go back to creating a match. I'm enjoying my game. Hopefully this time.
Yeah.
See, we got some viewers. If you're in the chat, all 2 of you. I think we're just gonna kind of chill out and talk about E3, maybe.
Not again.
Oh, did it do it again?
Yeah. Is there a way maybe I don't know, I'm just speculating, maybe like, could you maybe start a match and then I might be able to search for you?
I can do a yeah. I
Maybe
can
I
do
can
like
join.
public.
Okay.
Let me do public and I guess start and then. Hmm.
Oh wait, maybe I am in.
Are you?
Maybe I don't know
That'd
because
be
I think
great.
you right when you hit launch, it launched me. I think.
Oh well,
I
hey.
think we're gonna find out.
Whatever
I went to
works.
custom search and then it went.
Are you on like a loading screen or?
I just got off it. Now I'm selecting what plant I want.
Oh, yeah, maybe you are,
But
because that's where I'm at. So hopefully.
okay.
God, it's been so long. Oh, I
We'll
still got
find
my
out.
Sly Cooper stuff on.
Ah,
I'll
nice.
start with that. How do I view my? See, yeah, it's just showing me.
Okay.
We'll see. Hopefully,
Here, I'll back
hopefully
out.
it put you in.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you hit your touchpad, it should show the team. It's still showing just me. So we'll see how this
Oh, okay.
goes.
Yeah. I'll see if I
Um,
can join you.
so let's see. Yeah, like see if you can find it. Or I can send you another invite now that I'm actually in it. And then maybe that'll work. So, but yeah, if you are watching and you want, I mean, not that we know anything, so if you want to speculate with us about E3, I hear Platinum Games is announcing a new game next week on IGN.com.
I saw that, and the Metal Gear fanboy in me hopes it's Metal
To
Gear
Revenge,
Rising.
yeah. I
Who
mean,
knows?
they did have that. Not like it was that weird like in the middle of some other Sony thing. It was like, oh hey, there's like a 2 that looks suspiciously like Metal Gear Rising's font.
Yep. Yep.
So that, I mean, maybe that'd be really cool.
Um,
I like that
I
game.
tried it. I tried it one more time. You know what map you're on that I could maybe search for?
Oh boy, what is the name of this map? You know, I honestly don't remember the name of the map. Um,
Okay. That's no problem.
the zombies are coming. Okay. So, I think one of the reasons we picked this game is because it sounds like Garden Warfare 2 is going to get announced at Microsoft's conference next week.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope it's not timed exclusive like this was.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope
hopefully,
not. Hopefully,
hopefully we don't have to wait another 6 months or however long it was.
might get some PlayStation exclusive content again. Who knows?
We'll get a.
Be, be,
We can get a Crash Bandicoot hat, and that'll
oh,
and
it'd be
that'll
like
keep people.
the old Nintendo anti commercials where it's just like a
Mhm.
giant guy just a guy in a giant Crash Bandicoot suit.
There you go. How's your search coming?
Not too great.
Well,
I'm
this
trying to search for just anybody, but then when I hit, ah man, it's saying I'm unable to join. Huh.
Oh man. Do you maybe want to try restarting your game? Maybe that would work.
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
All right. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember having too much trouble when this game first came out, getting people in.
Hmm.
This is new. I don't remember the kind of the base spawning all this gold though. It's been a long time.
Well, maybe go ahead and try and send me another invite.
Alright, let me, see if I can close out this round really quick. Is there anybody over here? No.
Seems to be when I hit, when I search for any map, any difficulty, when I hit search for game, it doesn't show me like what games are available, it just...
Weird. Alright, I sent you another invite. Hopefully it'll work this time.
Yeah.
Right, wave 4.
Okay, there we go, so it shows I'm in. And I can hit I'm ready, and I'm ready.
Okay.
Then, every once in a while, then it just says error. Maybe it's... see, there, kicked me out.
God, this is...
Oh,
well, this is good.
I don't know, do you want me to try and start on my end, then invite you?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. It says I got an invitation. There we go. Join. Alright, fingers crossed. We'll see.
Yep.
Loading.
Okay, so there's shows
Oh.
in.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Hey, I think it's gonna work.
Nice. Finally.
Yeah, I think I chose easy though.
That's
Sadly.
all good. I mean, God, it's probably been a good 7 months since I played this.
Yeah. I was originally gonna buy this game, but then I was like, I don't know. And then I held off, and then Peter Moore came out at PSX and was like, Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare, free for this weekend, and I'm like, yep.
Yeah, sure. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think me and Brad, maybe Eric, I think we might all have bought it at launch. I think it was like a domino effect where like one or two of us bought it, and then it was like, well, alright.
Sure.
Let's see what other customization stuff I've got. Green bandana, or cool guy hat. Oh, that's not a cool guy hat.
You have the ratchet ears?
You know, I'm pretty sure I do, but I think it's... I got Sly Cooper's hat. I don't know where that... I think I got Ratchet stuff, I just don't know where it is. I'm gonna be all seasonal here. With my, my Santa hat. Sure, we'll go with that.
Oh boy. 5 seconds in, I earned a trophy.
There you go. Yeah, I need to get up there.
So how much Last Guardian talk did you have on the latest podcast?
We, let me see. Eric has a really good Last Guardian prediction. I won't spoil it, I guess. We, not as much as you would think. I was surprised. I mean, Eric has a real crazy Last Guardian thing, but I was surprised that we all didn't go for it. But it's certainly there. It makes its appearance. I think my strategy going in was I figured if I don't have any Last Guardian predictions, I'm not gonna jinx it.
Sure.
So I'm at that point in my life where
That's kind of a weird question, but let's say if it does get announced, where at in the press conference? What do you think it would be?
so I have been thinking about this, and I know like
Okay.
the easy answer is oh they gotta save it for the end, but
Sure.
I think you go right in the middle. I think it's
That's what I was thinking.
right when no one expects it. Um, because you could probably argue that there are bigger things they should save for the end. So it's like right when like I want them to pull a Little Big Planet 3, where they're showing a trailer for some other game, the lights dim,
Yeah.
and before anyone really gets a chance to come out on stage, the lights come back up and just all across the screen, just the logo for the Last Guardian. You got the bird on the right hand side, and just let it sink in for like a good 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And they'll
Yeah.
roll a trailer or something. That's how they should do it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you could potentially just like spoil the rest of the conference, like because no one will be able to pay attention.
Sure.
But you know, because it's you don't want to pull a PSX where you come out with Final Fantasy VII, and the last like and the last 15 minutes are like, well, what, why? Because then everyone's
Yes.
mad, and then poor David Jaffe's got to deal with that.
Yep.
So I don't know. I want to believe.
But I was maybe thinking that if they were gonna do like a Final Fantasy versus 13, where they're like, Last Guardian is not the name anymore, then like they'll change it to, you know, of course, like 13 went to 15 or something like.
The
They'll be
last
like, well, like they'll
Shadow of the
have the
Colossus
logo, then
2.
exactly, yes.
I fell into the trap of watching like the 2 trailers we got for The Last Guardian last night.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, oh, why did why am I? Because by the time that second trailer was done, it's like, man. Because then you go back and think, and you're like, man, when they showed this, it was so cool, and like no one knew what it would turn into, but
Yeah.
it's whatever. Push that Yeti. There he is. I love the Yeti. Yeah, what was we have a lightning round at the end of the podcast, and one of the I think the final lightning round question is just a quick like, what website's the first website that runs an article stating where is the Last Guardian when it does not show up?
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, I don't want to jinx it. I wanted to go in, no predictions, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. We ended up getting I mean, I don't think we're gonna post it until Wednesday because we wanted to have it a little bit closer to
Sure.
to Bethesda's conference, and we already because we had a podcast earlier today, so we wanted to kind of spread it out a bit. But
Yeah.
I think we had some good stuff. Brad, I think we all have at least one like super weird, like left field prediction that will not happen, but that's the good stuff. But I don't know. I'm excited for Sunday night and Monday, and I'm going. The plan is to go to that Sony movie theater thing again.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was fun last year.
I'd like to go to that. I've got one about, I'd say maybe 2.5, 3 hours away from us, but I'm kind of having like a big watch party at my house with all the E3 stuff.
That's probably better. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of like I mean, Columbus is, depending on what part of Columbus you're in, you know, it's not too bad. I think it took me about an hour, a little over an hour and a half, I think, or no, a little under an hour and a half to get there last year. Because it was kind of like right on that edge of like, I'm okay with that trip. Granted, I didn't get home till like 2 in the morning last year.
Oh no.
So that was great.
Yeah.
But you know, it was always the best part was like getting home and then realizing that apparently there was like a fight that broke out during the power segment.
I heard you mention something about that,
about 5 or 6 rows behind me. I don't know, like I just didn't notice it. Like I remember there being yelling, but I think like it's hard to decipher if that's yelling of excitement or apparently like fights going down.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Huh.
hopefully no violence this year, but
Yeah.
oh, see, we got some other people with us. I was gonna say, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. I think we are, at least for me, Brad and Eric, we're all like super pumped for Wadum, or Watam, or
Yeah,
however you
I
say
watched
that.
like a. Yeah, I watched like a. That was announced. But that was a PSX game, right?
Yeah, it
And,
was, yep.
I watched some game trailers video about it. It
Mhm.
looked pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that video got me, like, that was the video that I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, I don't know what this game
Yeah.
is, but I'm in.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. There's a good, it's from PSX. If you haven't watched it, or anyone who's watching this, if you haven't seen it, they had a panel with the people making that game. I can't remember either of their names. It's
Robin Henneke was one
yeah,
of them.
yeah,
wasn't
her
it?
and God, I cannot remember his name for the life
Yeah,
of me.
I'm not sure
Anyways,
about
it's
the
the
other
two of
guy.
them, and they talk. They don't really say too much about Watam, but they talk about like some of the things that he's worked on leading up to this
Mhm.
game, and it's like a super fascinating thing because he like apparently tried designing this really weird playground that totally did not like pan out, but it just went through his process of like what he thinks about when he's designing a game, and it was completely fascinating. And I think it's on YouTube. I think it's on the PlayStation YouTube channel. Uh,
Okay.
so if you haven't seen that, you should check it out.
Yeah, I might not do that.
It's yeah, I think it gives some pretty good insight into like just who this guy is that has created like Nobi Nobi Boy and Katamari and now Watam Autumn.
Yeah. Speaking of weird games that you've talked about, I started up Hohokum the other day. I hadn't played it before.
Yeah.
I like it.
Are you on
I don't
Team
get
Eric or are you on Team Brad and Kirk?
You might have to remind me which one's which.
So
team?
Eric likes the game.
Okay.
Yeah. Or what did he say? He's one like away from loving it or something.
I like the music.
Uh-huh.
It's fun. I like weird games like that.
Sure.
But I don't. Again, I don't know. I don't think it's like a bad game necessarily, but it's. I don't know. Maybe I'm indifferent. I haven't played
Sure.
like a ton, but it was that kind of thing where it's like I played on Vita and I was like laying in bed and I was like, I don't know, I'll just start this. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm still playing it, trying to figure out how to beat the first level or whatever.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I've talked at length about it. I just got to a point where I didn't feel like finishing it.
Yeah.
Or going through the trouble of like figuring out what I needed to do, what I had left. Because I think I'm close. I just whatever. I'm good. I have Hohokum myself out. Forgot that guy turns into bats. Well, speaking of the Vita, what do you expect? We had that question last night. It was like, is there gonna be any new Vita games announced?
Honestly, I do kind of expect this, but I expect Andrew House to come out and be like, well, I didn't really mean it was a legacy system. But you know, I don't know. I
Or to like
maybe
spin it,
expect like a
because
little
they've done like
backtrack on that.
in the
Yeah,
past
exactly.
they've kind of like gone on stage and been like we do care about the Vita, or like not like explicitly stated, or they'll kind of spin it in such a way that it's like, no, the Vita, look at the Vita, look at what it's getting, and it's like, oh, it's Borderlands 2, cool.
Yeah. Or a bunch of like, I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but it's like PC games of indie games that I've played before, like Bastion and
or it's
maybe like Octodad.
yes, or it's, I mean, it's that same scenario within like the PS4 version. You know, it's gonna be out for 6 months before the Vita gets it.
Yeah.
It's rough. I mean, we still haven't gotten Resident Evil Revelations 2 on Vita.
Yeah.
Which
Kind of.
I
Yeah.
wonder if that game might just never show up.
Yeah.
We'll
That's a
see.
Sony published game, right? Like, I don't think Capcom.
I think that's their third-party productions thing.
Okay.
I think that's one of those games.
With old Geo Corsi and all them.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to believe that they're gonna like shock, and they'll have like at least one big Vita thing.
I hope so.
But I just like it's so hard to just expect it. Like it's so hard to think that there's any chance of it. Like I think we said there's probably a chance that Gravity Rush 2 might still be on the Vita.
I was thinking about that.
Like, but then I was thinking, I was like, have they explicitly, maybe you know, have they explicitly stated that that game actually is still alive?
I just thought I remember like a TGS a few years ago they showed like an image or something.
I watched that trailer. They have a very short like teaser that I watched last night, and it was a little over a minute long, and it had, I mean, it was very obviously teasing Gravity Rush 2, and there was a lot of concept art, and at the very end, I think there was like a 5-second clip that I'm pretty sure was not like from the full game, or like from the first game, of like Kat and, I don't remember the other girl's name. So that looked like it could have actually been like early footage or something. Because there's like a part where like they fly up and then she looks back as if to be like, oh, it's me. And then, but that's it. And it was like in development or something. But other than, I don't know if there's ever been explicitly anything after that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I do think it's probably on PS4. At the very least.
I would assume so.
But,
yeah.
So it seems like one of those worst kept secrets at this point, but I don't know. Like with that and like Beyond Two Souls remastered, also seems like a really
what's that been?
poorly kept secret.
Yeah.
Did it like the trophy list for that game like pop up on one of the trophy websites like months ago?
Yeah, but it was trophy lists, it was trademarks. Yeah, it almost feels like a year ago or something like that.
It's been a long time.
It was pretty close.
I've often wondered that myself. Of like, what are they just like saving that game, holding it back?
Yeah.
Like this is the one, guys. This is gonna be the one.
They got to make back their Ellen Page money and their Willem Dafoe money that they spent for them.
I guess so. I mean, maybe they'll like announce it closer to whenever they announce their new game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even the Uncharted collection was like a poorly kept secret. It's like everyone's like, we know, guys. It's coming.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't keep some of that for E3. Like, even though it was kind of a like, I don't know. I just feel like some stuff.
That's because they're saving the Last Guardian.
Exactly.
Save their big guns.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's always the thing of like, every year this happens where it's like a big game gets announced, or like 4 or 5 get announced the weeks leading up, and there's always, everyone's like, well, why do they do this? Why aren't they saving their announcements for E3? And it's like, because it happens every year. Like, this is just what happens.
Sure. Yeah.
Or at least I feel like the past 2 or 3 it's been like that.
Yeah, I knew I think I remember Kaz made a joke about it at 1E3 about like, well, here's what we call the best kept secret, or not like whatever, and it was like, here's the PSP Go.
Yeah, here's the
like,
oh my god.
Everybody knew it existed.
Well, that leaked out, I think. I want to say the PSP
exactly.
Go leaked early. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd kind of been known for a while.
You would talk about the Vita getting abandoned.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Gotta download all those minis.
Well, yeah. I'll give the minis this. They probably had more quality games over and certain other PSM platform.
Yes.
But
yeah. What a travesty PSN is.
That is a true tragedy of our time.
Yes.
I remember back in the days when it was PlayStation Sweet.
Yes.
And there was potential there. Yeah, that's man. I was on Reddit last night, and someone, I don't know if he's put out PlayStation mobile games before, but apparently he helped, like, his nephew who's like 8 years old. He taught him like Unity, and
okay.
and then he loaned him his Vita so he could like just play around with the PSN dev kit, and he actually published the game. And it's like, it's not anything like amazing in quality, but it's like looking at it, it's like it's amazing that like someone that young put it together.
Yeah.
I think it's like it was one of those things like they have to charge for it on that store, I think, or they have to have something that's cost money, so it's like $1. But I thought about picking it up because it's probably going to be one of the last PlayStation mobile games to come out.
Yeah.
And just it's kind of also just to kind of support an 8-year-old kid who wants to make games.
Sure. What was that? PlayStation home game? Was it a Scribble shooter? That was like a young kid that made that game too.
Oh really?
Or something like that. I want to say it was. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time on PlayStation home.
Yeah. Me neither. I just thought I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah.
I did it for like the free themes and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, there's a Ratchet and Clank theme in PlayStation Home. It's like, well,
sure.
I guess I'll go do it.
Sure. Yeah, I remember. I mean, PlayStation Home was also a thing that, like, if you look back, like, we were excited about that at one point.
Yep.
Or just people at large. Like, that was I remember, like, being like, oh, did you hear, like, they're sending beta codes out for PlayStation Home? Did you get one? No. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, being genuinely bummed out. And, looking back, it's like, why? Why was I...
Yeah, it was, kind of a... slow down. I remember just sort of like, oh, is PlayStation Home gonna come to PS4? And what's that? Not happening.
Yeah. Whatever. It made money for him.
Yeah.
So.
I'm always curious to what the new kind of, I guess like the word is gaff, or like funny moment thing that Sony has at their press conferences that's like really laughable. Like the ones I always remember is of course you had like Wonder Book and stuff like that, or you had PlayStation Move, or you had like here's the Vita and like it has 3G support.
Oh,
Yay! And then it's like
what
AT&T.
Yes, AT&T. Yes.
Yeah, I always just expect those kind of things, or even the Last of Us remastered trailer that was like, here's like, well, finally people can get to play this, and then like they show the trailer, like this trailer shows spoilers from the game, like okay,
oh right,
thanks. Like,
right, I forgot about that.
My goodness. Come on.
I mean, for me, like it's not. I guess it's very. It wasn't so much on that level, but for me, last year, my big memory is when they started the Far Cry 4 demo. The satellite feed cut out for like 10 or 15 seconds, and there was just this unbelievably awkward feeling that you got. Like for me, it was like I wasn't concerned too much because it was Far Cry 4, but you could just feel it in the air in that movie theater.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Oh.
That's the thing. That was the big thing I remember. I thought about in our lightning round for the bets podcast, the predictions show, was having a how many times Sean Layden would point at the audience. If you notice the way he talks, the way his hand movements, there was a lot of like pointing, and so I thought about having that. I didn't in the end because I feel like it would probably got really. I didn't want to have to go through and count. Like the next day, I didn't want to have to watch it over again and count all those times, but
yeah.
We have some good ones. We have just not to spoil too much, but we had how many times will Nathan Drake say no during the Uncharted demo?
Yeah.
And we had to qualify that when he does his no, all of those count as no's.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's hilarious. I guess I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, when you mentioned that, I was like, he does say no a lot.
Yeah, so, having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess like it's predictable to be like, I'm Sony's I'm probably most excited for, in a way.
Yeah.
But it's not like
They usually
Nintendo's...
put on a good show.
Yeah. It's not like Nintendo's gonna be showing the game I care about. This is Zelda, so...
Oh, Zelda, yeah.
That's...
I'm interested in Star Fox. I've always been a Star Fox fan.
I'm sure they'll show a lot of cool things, and I'll be happy about most of them, but... I don't know, like, I still want to believe that they're just lying to me. Because to me, it's just like, you can't even just show something, like, little? Just, like, a tiny little thing?
It's kind of a stretch, but I know some people were speculating that, like, yes, Zelda won't be at E3, but they think that, like, it might show up in the Direct.
And, like, the digital event, they didn't say that. Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. I know it probably isn't, but I hope that's the case. Just because... Like, that's... I don't have a reason, I want to see more of that game. And, I don't know, it's... Yeah.
I can't think of really too much Nintendo. Of course, I'm always a big Metroid guy, so like anything Retro Studios does, I love. I love Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I would like to see what Next Level Games is doing. Because their last thing was the expansion, and I love that game a lot. So that'd be cool.
I have played a demo of it.
That was one of those games that, like, by the time I finished it, I just kind of sat the 3DS down. I was like, this is a really good game. You know, it's not the best or whatever. It's just, man, I'm really, like, satisfied with those however many hours or whatever. Yeah, and it's been a while, so surely they've got something cooking.
Yeah. Yep. You mean you aren't excited for Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer?
I would be excited for an Animal Crossing game.
Yeah.
Like on Wii U. But here's my thing, and I think playing Fantasy Life last year kind of ruined me on Animal Crossing, because like Fantasy Life is kind of in a weird way the game I want Animal Crossing to be, because it doesn't have like the real-time restraints. Like playing Animal Crossing on the 3DS, it was like, oh, I've already done everything I can do today. So, like, that's great, but now I have to wait till the next day to actually do anything. But I would like that. I would also love for that the Paper Mario rumor to be true.
Oh yeah, I actually bought. I went on a 3DS splurge of games when they announced Club Nintendo was going down. I was like, well, I was gonna get these games eventually.
That's maybe
I'll just buy them all now
and
get the codes. So yeah, I bought a Paper Mario Sticker Star. I love 1000 Year Door on GameCube. I love that game.
Have you played Sticker Star at all yet?
I have not played it yet, but I have it.
I hope you like it more than I do.
Oh, okay.
Maybe temper your expectations. Like, not that it's a bad game at all. But it's pretty different, and like that's the thing. Like, I would love the Paper Mario Wii U thing to be true, but I hope it's a lot closer to like 1000 Year Door.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like there are some people who do love Sticker Star. It's very split, but yeah, temper your expectations, I think.
Okay.
But that's probably, you know what? That's a smart move, because we were trying to help Brad decide what games he wanted to get before his coins expired.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yep.
I would recommend Earthbound if you haven't played that ever.
I actually would.
I don't know if you have a Wii or a Wii U.
I do not have a Wii U.
Okay, well there you go. Never mind. Actually, you know what? Get it anyways.
Mother 3 coming west.
Oh, I would. Right? Yeah. It's the funny thing is I love Earthbound. I don't have a strong desire to play Mother 3, but I would love for that just to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally play it, but I just love for that to be a thing.
Yeah.
Whether the chances of that are very tiny or not, but
sure.
It was the same thing where it's like I'd love for Kingdom Hearts 3 to show up, but I'm not really counting on it.
Yeah, I think they gotta get 15 out first, sadly.
Yeah, and 15's not even gonna be there, so good.
Oh, oh man.
I don't know. I wanna. That's the thing. So that's my kind of viewpoint on all of the conferences this year, except for the PC one, because I don't really know what to think of it. I
Yeah.
kind of look at all of them, and it's like, like Bethesda, man, that could be really good. Like Microsoft, they always have a good show. EA,
Hmm.
what, they could go Star Wars, everything, and that could be great. Like, and then it would be like, and I just go down the line, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, they could potentially like have a great conference. And then like whether or not that is a reality, I don't know. But
Yeah.
oh, there's my ratchet ears.
Yeah, I'm always excited, of course, just to see what the new things are. I always like usually try and like keep a list of things.
Yeah,
I'm actually really excited for Microsoft, even though I don't have an Xbox One.
yeah.
Um, I want a Banjo Kazooie game or anything that
How do you
Rare's working on
how do
that's
you
kind of
feel
old school.
about Battletoads?
I really never cared for Battletoads.
Uh-huh.
I would maybe play it, but I
So
can't really
I don't
say
think I've
I
ever played it.
cared.
Um, but
I think I
it
played it
there's been
one
like
time.
we talked about it last night. There's been enough teasing that something Battletoads related is coming surely.
Exactly, yeah.
Um,
Shovel Knight, and he's wearing the
he's
Phil
always wearing the
Spencer
shirt.
wearing the
Shovel Knight,
Battletoads shirt. Yeah,
which by the way, that Shovel Knight, I watched like the video of someone playing that Shovel Knight boss fight with Battletoads. It's so cool.
yep. I
Um,
think so too. Yeah,
I think it's better than the Kratos one, and I really like that fight also. They just went
yeah,
all out with it. But then there was something else that like Battletoads just randomly popped up in, and I don't remember what it was. My worry is that like Battletoads will be the game that Rare is making, and like there will be no
yeah,
Banjo. I could
yeah.
see people getting I could see it being like a situation where Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze got announced, and people were like, "What? Like
Yeah.
you guys are supposed to be working on Metroid, not
Yeah,
this."
it's the weirdest thing. I remember reading a. I'm pretty sure it's still up there. Like I'm pretty sure it's there. But I read like a Game Informer article
Uh,
uh, after Retro did Donkey Kong Country Returns, and it's like, well, we're not working on any more Donkey Kong Country.
right.
Like they said, like that was it. Like they weren't gonna make it anymore. And then
Just
like here
kidding.
comes Tropical Freeze. Yep.
I
think
played Tropical Freeze for the first time a couple months ago, and it's like that's a good game. I don't know if
mhm.
I feel as strongly about it as some people do, but I mean
I
I love
love Donkey
Country.
Kong Country.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I love them all.
that was one of like the handful of Super Nintendo games I grew up on.
Yeah.
I just think Microsoft always has like a really good show, like well put together. Like most of the stuff I don't
Yeah.
really care about too much. Like their first party
Sure.
stuff, I'm not a huge fan of, but they just, I mean, that's like the thing they have on Sony, in my opinion, is like their pacing. It's just a more entertaining show, and
Yeah,
there's
I'd
not
say
as many
so.
lulls. I mean, with the exception of like maybe like the year where they went all in on like Connect or something. They've had some
Yeah.
blunders in the
Yeah.
past, but in general, it's always good
Yeah.
stuff. Like last year was a great show. Say what you will about some of the games they showed, and the whether or not they were real at the time or not, but
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
yeah,
kind of an unpopular opinion, but even the year the Xbox One was announced, or like that E3 when like of course like Sony kind of came out and destroyed
yeah,
them in
that was
2013.
ridiculous.
I really thought Microsoft show was really good. It just what brought it down was the $500
Well, what brought it
and
down
like
is like
nothing cleared up.
the show before E3,
Yeah, that
because
too.
their
But they showed a
actual
lot of stuff though. I thought like
well,
they had Sunset
yeah, it's like
Overdrive, they
their actual
had
like E3
Titanfall.
show was fine for the most part. I mean,
Yeah,
except the price. Like the price was a major deal.
yeah, yeah.
And then I
That's
mean,
kind
you
of
look.
what
I
brought it
think
all
like
down.
history. Like you look back, and I still remember. I mean, like 3 weeks before that conference, Sony's conference, it was like I kept hearing like, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 is gonna be there, and I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And that was, and like looking back, you have that, and the Final Fantasy 15 thing. That was crazy. And then you follow that up almost immediately, where it's like, oh yeah, we are not doing DRM. You can trade your game. They put out that video just like
Yeah.
straight up
Yeah.
making fun of them at that point.
They are. They were.
And
Yeah.
I felt bad. Like I kind of felt bad. It just, it was ugly. Like it was kind of funny to watch.
It was.
And I guess like
but
on.
kind of with the.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh. Just thinking like with the gaps or whatever. I was thinking like when they were like, yeah, like not online, and you know, youth games work, and then they were like, then like they had that next slide was like, you know,
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus, like online multiplayer on PlayStation 4. Like, well, now you have to pay for it. Like,
Yeah.
I love like I kind of
Brad
thought that
was-
was almost like a gap. Like,
Brad was very good at pointing that out when I think when we had our post E3 podcast, he was like immediately like, yeah, but now you gotta play for Plus.
yeah.
And you know what?
expected
It
it,
worked.
though,
Like
but-
it totally worked because everyone was like, well, whatever. Like we,
Yeah.
we got what we want, in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was something else. That's certainly like I wouldn't even say it's one of Sony's best shows, but like probably gonna be one of the most
It's up
memorable. It's certainly
Yeah,
up there.
definitely. Yeah. I would say that was close to the whole Kevin Butler thing in 2010.
Man,
I
yeah, that
really
was
enjoyed that.
another like just very good. It's like Sony, you got some smart people over there
Yeah.
writing your
exactly.
speeches and whatever. Like that was a good moment. That and the
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the same year as like, is that the same year as the big apology from Jack Tretton?
I think that was the year.
Or was that the year
I
after?
think that was the year after. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
guess,
was
yeah,
it,
because that would have been,
yeah.
it was 2011 was the great PSN outage.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, those were the days.
those were days.
I come home, I get my brand
Multiple
new
days.
copy of. I just remember I came home and I was like, hey man, like I had this friend, I was like, we got this brand new copy of Portal 2, we're gonna co-op together, and then the network's down for like a month plus.
And that was, I mean, that, you could probably go back and say that arguably killed SOCOM.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
SOCOM and Mortal Kombat both came out that
Mortal
day.
Kombat, yep.
Mortal Kombat, you know, that it survived. It was okay in the long term.
Yeah.
SOCOM and that team, not so much, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, rest in peace, Zipper.
Yeah.
And the guy you interviewed with Jeremy Dunham, he used to work at Zipper.
Yeah,
believe,
I
didn't
did not know that until he
Yeah.
said so. Yeah, also former IGN.
he? Yeah, I think I remember him being on that.
Yeah, that was a fun interview. If people are watching, I think we got a few people watching. We interviewed the people from Rocket League, or a couple of people who are developing, or finishing up Rocket League right now, and that's a pretty cool interview. There's some like new information, sort of. It's like more specifics on the season mode and some other things. So that was a fun one. There's
Yeah,
some-
I did get in. I was gonna say I did get in the beta, but I never did end up playing it. So I wish I would have.
It's really good, as it turns out.
Cool. Nice. I never played let's see if
Super
I can get the name.
acrobatic,
Supersonic acrobatic
rocket powered battle cars. Man, that was,
Yeah.
and the great part of that interview, like you can tell they had it down because they would say it in like 2 seconds,
Yeah.
and we're like struggling. I think eventually I just stopped and was like, yeah, your prior game.
Yeah. Funny.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited for that game. I think this summer is gonna be good for PSN stuff. Got high
I think
hopes.
so too. Yeah.
There's I'm curious to see who's gonna have it's available right now.
Oh, are they gonna pull an Entwine kind of thing?
Yeah, we had Entwine last year. I speculated that perhaps we'll have some sort of like Battletoads HD available right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. I figure
on a
it
side
happens every
note,
year, so go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say on a side note, I bought Entwined maybe like 4 months ago, and it was on sale on PSN because I didn't buy it when it came out.
Yeah.
Do not like that game.
I bought
I
it
do not like that game.
the moment I got home from the press conference. I was like, well, someone's got to
Yeah.
review this.
Sure.
God, it's been a long. I mean, I haven't played it since probably a week after E3 last year.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of neat. I think like and in the midst of the show when they showed it, it was like, oh, this looks like pretty cool. Like I like this idea. Maybe not as good as I was hoping it would be. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I think I might have gave it like a 3.5, maybe a 4. Might have been a little high in hindsight, but you know, it's yeah. I think what it was, I think the comparison I might have made at the time was, to me, that it felt like their flow. Where, like, I saw the potential of this, like, new developer just out of school. And, like, if you go back to Flow, like, Flow was kind of neat, but it wasn't really anything all that special. But then you got to Flower, and then Journey, and I was like, okay, like, I see what these guys are doing.
I love Flower. Yep.
I would maybe argue Flower is my favorite of the three.
You know, I was gonna say the same thing. I liked Journey. I understand why people like it. I like it too. But
I love Journey.
I think
yeah.
Flower's a better game.
I know Eric's not a fan, but I love Journey, and I just think like Flower was, yeah, I really like Flower a lot. And that was a really good example of like one of the first like artsy game that I bought, and it was there was a lot of going back and forth. I'm like, I don't know, $10 maybe, I'm not sure, and then I just bought it, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're doing now.
You know, I was thinking the same thing, like, cause just looking back at their previous games, that game company usually announces their games like fairly far out, but like they haven't announced anything.
It's also been a long time since Journey came out.
Yeah, what was it 2012?
I think 2012, so it's been like over 3 years.
Yeah. When's the PS4 version coming out? Like, I thought that was supposed to come out a while ago.
Maybe. I mean, I think that's a really good candidate of like, and it's out now. Or I always thought that was a really good PlayStation Plus candidate. Just because of, you know, it being a game that most people have probably played, or most big Sony fans have, and I don't know if it would be a major. I don't know if it'd be like bad to like just be like, yeah, this game's a PS Plus game now. You know, I don't know if they're losing out on a lot of sales there, or how that even works. Yeah, I mean, I think because they're like their Sony contract's done, so presumably whatever they're doing next is probably multi-platform or something weird. Sounds like whatever Ready at Dawn's doing next is also going to be multi-platform.
Yeah. I'm also interested for What Remains of Edith Finch. I really like Unfinished Swan, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I hope we see more of that at E3 next week.
Yep.
Or just something that also, if you haven't or anyone watching this hasn't seen it, back at PSX they had a panel talking about that game, and again it was also like one of those, they didn't get into specifics about that game in particular, but they talked about a lot of inspirations they had, and they read this short story that I want to say was, I don't know if it was written by Lovecraft or not. I don't remember who it was written by. They read a short story, and it was kind of like to give the kind of the effect of like, so people knew what they were being inspired by and what kind of like story What Remains of Edith Finch would tell. And that got me super interested in that game, much more than I would have been anyways. So that's another one I think is also probably on Sony's YouTube. If you go back far enough back in December, it is worth checking out. Yeah. I think those are like that and the Wadham one was like the two big ones that were really good. Yeah, that's man. I really like Unfinished One, but it's uh, the game like made me claustrophobic in a weird way.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Just the like not being able to see anything was really like it actually stopped me from playing that game when it first came out. Because I remember
Hmm.
playing the demo and I was like, I can't do this. And eventually, like, I ended up playing the PS4 version because we got it with Plus. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I have this game, I need to play it. So, and it's really great. So I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Hey, we'll get some Alien Nation news.
Yeah,
Something like
you'd
that.
have to think like that and like Kill
I'm
String.
not too huge. Yeah, I'm not too huge on that game. I wasn't a huge Dead Nation fan, so I'm kind of indifferent on it. But
Yeah. I like Dead Nation for what it was, but I'm not. I'll wait and see for Alien Nation.
yeah, yep.
And even like Resogun's great, but I think just in general, like there are certain companies that have these really like well-loved PSN games that I'm like not a huge fan of, or I like them, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like Super Stardust. It's like yeah, it's great, it's a good game,
Yeah.
but you know, um, God, yeah, I'm kind of like slowly convincing myself that we'll probably get like a Battlefront beta from EA.
Yeah, they did that with Hardline
Oh, that's
last year.
that's what I'm expecting, and I'm expecting to get a beta
Yeah.
code for this movie theater trip.
Ooh. Oh wow, that'd definitely be worth it.
Um, just kind of going off last year, getting that and the Destiny Alpha.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like expecting the same thing, and I feel like well, that's a really good candidate for being in beta. Whether it's ready for that or not, I don't, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But I figure that's probably going to be like EA's biggest game they're showing.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for the Mirror's Edge, supposedly Catalyst, as they're
Yes,
suspecting.
that's a
I don't
name.
think about it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mirror's Edge and what we saw. I mean, maybe not so much what we saw of it last year, but what we
I'm
saw 2 years
coming.
ago
Yeah.
was cool.
Oh
looking.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Almost.
We're almost done with that wave.
Yeah.
And I think Mirror's Edge will be cool. I kind of feel like Mass Effect will probably be there in some form.
Are you a big Mass Effect guy at all?
I really like 2, and that's the only one I played. So I'd say no.
Okay.
And I wouldn't even say I'm a big BioWare dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I have a fun story about Mass Effect. So like because I never played it. This is before I bought my PS3.
oh, I feel
was
so
like,
bad.
you know
Sorry
what?
for interrupting. I feel so bad.
Oh.
Hello, Dragon Age Freak in the comments section. Nothing against BioWare.
That's funny.
Dragon Age Inquisition's a good game. Anyways, go ahead. If you're the if you're the one who just sent me a friend request, I will accept it once we finish streaming. But hello and welcome.
I might say I could go on and on about Mass Effect 2, but
Yeah.
So, you know, it's always been Xbox. I always wanted to play Mass Effect, so then of course, I don't remember where they announced it, but they announced that Mass Effect 2 is coming to PlayStation 3. So I'm like, oh man, like, this is my chance. I was getting excited. I went to Target that like Tuesday at 10 a.m. and it came out like in January, whatever that was, 2012, 2011, I don't remember when it was. But I go there, I'm like super excited to play Mass Effect 2. I played the demo, really enjoyed it. I did not like Mass Effect 2 whatsoever.
Oh wow.
I thought that game was boring. I did not enjoy the combat. Yeah, it was just I wasn't too big on that game.
Yeah, and I was actually in a very similar position to you, where I was like, always wanted to play it. Never really had a chance to. Mass Effect 2 gets announced for PS3. It's like, all right, yeah. Ended up getting when it came out, and like, I marathon that game in a way I usually don't with like those lengthier games,
Yeah.
and I loved it. I was a super huge fan, and for whatever reason, by the time Mass Effect 3 came out, I just decided to skip it just for its general like when it released that time frame. I was like, maybe I'll get it later. I think there was just a lot of stuff coming out, and it's one of those things where I was like, I don't know how much I buy it. Like, I've never played it, so I don't really know specifically what went wrong, I guess, with that story. But it's kind of hard to pick that game up now, with everything surrounding it, and not like have my opinion already kind of, poisoned in a way, just like skewed. Yeah. Yeah. After we're done with the, I'll accept your friend request, and after we're done with this, I guess this next wave, we can try to add you. We have a guy in the chat who's wanting to join. He says he's very good. So.
Yeah, we might lose this round.
We're not, but oh yeah, it's on the rough. Yeah, I'm curious to see where Mass Effect goes, I guess. Like, I kind of feel like whatever the next one is probably gonna be a good like starting off point. Maybe for someone like us who haven't played 3. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like, I don't know. Like, I really like Dragon Age Origins a lot. Inquisition I thought was good, but I don't know if I'm a huge BioWare fan. At least the games that I've played of theirs. I mean, Mass Effect 2, I love that game too, but I don't know if I'm super into their games as much as a lot of other people are.
Yeah. I kind of revived the team. I figured we were almost done.
Yeah.
I didn't know how far we were close, so I thought
we might as well. We're in the last wave, so. And then once this wave's over, I'll accept Dragon Age Freak's friend request. I'm assuming that's who sent me the friend request.
Yeah, we'll try this one more time. If not, I'll back out, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's bad. It's probably. I guess the chances are small, but I'd like to think that maybe Amy Hennig's Star Wars game might be like cheese vaguely.
Oh yeah, the visceral one. That'd be cool.
I think that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Whether or not that is anywhere close to, being teased, who knows? But I feel like this is like the big Star Wars year. It's like where Star Wars is like this is the. I mean, obviously movies are gonna be coming out every year now, but I feel like this is like more so than any other one, like a really big year. And so I could see maybe that kind of like letting maybe EA is like, well, maybe we should tease like maybe future Star Wars projects or something, but we'll see. Man, I'm gonna use one of my self-revives just to...
I just hope they don't do what they did last year and show Dev Diaries all.
Yeah. I remember my brother and I, we sat down and we watched that one together. We watched actually Microsoft, EA, and Ubisoft together, and after the EA one, we both looked at each other and were just like, oh my god. And at the time, like, I kind of like respected and like I felt like I got what they were going for. It was like, okay, I can appreciate, like wanting to show like these games that like are maybe further down like the road and like, showing what you guys are planning for the future, and that's kind of neat. But you gotta pack that up with like games that we're going to see in the next year that aren't sports games. They didn't. And so to me, like, now I gotta think that like this year we'll actually see gameplay of all of those games. You would hope.
I hope so, yeah.
We'll see Battlefront, we'll see Need for Speed, we'll see whatever, I mean, hopefully we'll see whatever Criterion is doing.
Yeah.
That weird vehicle thing.
I'd like to I'd like to see, of course, again, mention again, Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
That would be because like wasn't there like a leaked, or no, it wasn't leaked, but it was like part of their financial call. They were saying like Mirror's Edge is going to be coming out like early 2016, so I'd be super down.
I mean,
for that.
it's Mirror's Edge and Garden Warfare 2 were like early 2016, so
yeah.
you know, I mean, and you got to think if Mirror's Edge is that close, like that's not far.
Yeah.
You know, maybe potentially is playable. At least you would think so. Like that, I mean, if you think like people are probably going to be playing a lot of the games that are coming out in November, like if Mirror's Edge is before March, or at least in March, like that's, I feel like that's close enough. Because that game,
definitely.
You know, people could be playing that game this time next, or, you know, a week and a half from now. Which would be great. I gotta wonder if, I guess this would fall more on Ubisoft, if Ubisoft or Microsoft will say anything regarding the state of some of their games that came out last year. Like specifically like the Halo collection and Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like if that, whether or not that will happen or not.
Well, with a, I don't know if they officially denied it or whatnot, but I would expect with ODST out now on Master Chief Collection, I would kind of expect them to be like, hey, guess what, Halo Reach is available now, or something like that. I could see that maybe, but
maybe.
It's kind of weird to omit Reach from.
Alright, I'm assuming I'm still dead. Hold on a second. Oh no, this is a different person who sent me a friend request. I'll accept that too. Alright, let me see if it will let me... Oh, I kind of feel bad kicking somebody. But we're...
Oh, do I have to do it?
Let's see if we fail this.
Okay.
And if we fail, let's just go ahead and drop out, because I don't think we're gonna get this. And that way I can go ahead and add Dragon Age Freak.
Sounds good. Might be able to do it. We got 3 alive.
Maybe.
Who knows? I think we got some of the trolls down at least.
Yeah.
I see one back there.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought when they showed off Syndicate a few weeks ago, like they kind of feel like they acknowledged like some of the things, some of the screw ups. I'm just curious if we get like a real quick like throwaway line. Oh, I guess we did it. Like a quick throwaway line of like, hey, like we know that we kind of screwed up last year, and here's our promise to make good, or whatever. By the way, here's Watch Dogs 2.
You know, I'd be excited for Watch Dogs 2. I really enjoyed Watch Dogs 1.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could be their big surprise.
I think it'll be there. I don't know if I don't know if I'm 100% on the boat with you on being excited for that game, but
yeah.
But I could potentially get there.
It was kind of weird, like, I'm gonna go talk to my nephew, but I'm gonna go kill all these people outside my house before I do it. I agree with some of it.
That was totally the game for me, that it was like, man, Ubisoft's open world game structure, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see that being like their Assassin's Creed 1, and then Watch Dogs 2 being like a really big step up.
Yeah.
So.
And that could be their big surprise, because Ubisoft usually has something like the year it was Watch Dogs, then it was The Division, and then it was Rainbow Six.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
So.
I believe.
Ooh. Could be a new Prince of Persia even.
Cool.
Remember that leaked screenshot a long time ago or whatever? Yeah.
I'd be down for more pop.
Yeah.
I'd like to see whatever this new Child of Light thing is.
Oh yeah, I remember them mentioning something about that.
More. What was there? I think that the comment was more games in the Child of Light universe. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I would like more RPGs in the Child of Light universe. That's what they're going for.
Yeah.
The game had some issues, but I really like that game a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do another Valiant Hearts or something similar. Like, I want more UbiArt games
I
is
was
what I
thinking
want.
about that.
Like, just
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
anything like that. All right, so that's done. Now, I will invite you, sir or madam.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and I'll back out.
um, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can leave it public because we could probably use a fourth person.
Okay. Yeah.
How many
I
people
thought
we
maybe
got
yeah,
watching?
that's true. I was gonna back out just to. I might have to invite you again. But
It's
yeah,
fine.
just to get new people. I'll send you an invite real quick.
Kind of hoping for like a surprise, like, hey, that Lego Worlds game is coming to consoles too. Um, that probably wouldn't be a conference thing, but
Yeah, sure.
all right. So we got that. Um, I'm gonna need to actually add this guy to my friends list or girl. I don't. And I'll hang around for a second to let them accept it.
What else is there that is
So with the Ubisoft thing,
speculation
there is
wise?
that there's the thing that leaked. I want to say over a year ago with some concept art for something called Hero. I don't know if you remember this.
Okay. Not
I
too
think
much.
there's been a couple of rumors about what it would be.
Hmm.
But some people have been speculating that could be their big like one last thing, like a new IP from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's called Hero or not, you know. Set it to private
Hmm.
for now, since we got a third person who joined us. That way, once my friend request is accepted,
Okay.
I can
Sounds good. Just
invite.
invite only.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess there is just invite only or public.
Yeah.
So that could,
You
I
want to stay
think
with?
that could be.
Oh,
Oh,
he
he
got
left.
booted, I think.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Maybe what's happening to him is what happened to me.
maybe.
It
Yeah.
wasn't working. Like it got me in for a minute, and then it kind of kicked me out.
Mhm. So yeah, I feel like that there's been a lot of like stuff about that possibly being it.
Hmm.
I'd expect a new IP, honestly, for Ubisoft's big thing. Um,
Yeah.
just like something just out of nowhere that isn't expected. They've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess Rainbow Six. I don't know. Like I'm not really a huge. I never really spent a whole lot of time with that series, so I don't know if that was a major deal for
Yeah.
people.
Me neither. Yeah.
Um, a message.
Man.
Oh,
So I
good.
would love to hear. I
Very
would love
good.
to hear anything. Any.
Mhm. Uh huh. It's that
Whatever
lives
lives tomorrow.
tomorrow. It does.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm gonna get home from work, and I'm just gonna splurge.
Yeah, I am. Uh, I Metal Gear games are always games that like I get excited for, but I don't really feel it until I'm playing it, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god. It's like last year when I
Yep.
played Ground Zeroes, I was like, yeah, oh man. Like, it hit me. I was like, oh my god, like, Phantom Pain's going to be amazing. Like, I'm gonna love that game.
Yeah.
And it, you know, this might be the last thing we get from Kojima for a really long time. So, I'm gonna need to savor it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like Metal Gear a whole lot.
Yeah.
I always liked that, like, my first experience with that series was I was real young. I was probably like 10 or 11 at the time. I woke up and I guess, I mean, I would say that like Metal Gear Solid 2 would have had to have just come out at the time, and I was getting ready for school and I noticed this CD was sitting on the top of our entertainment center face down, and so I picked it up and I was looking, it was Metal Gear Solid 2. And at the time, I didn't really know what that was. And my dad's like, oh yeah, one of my buddies is selling it for like $10. And like looking back, it's like, wow, what a deal. So the Raiden switcheroo I didn't understand how major that was until years later. But the thing that got me as I was playing one night and I got to the point towards the end where it's like, hey, you've been playing this game for too long. Turn the PS2 off, and I'm like, what? It's like, what is this game? And ever
I
since
need
then,
scissors.
let's try one more time.
It was Twin Snakes on GameCube. Because this was kind of when I was still pretty young, and the story I always remember was I was always the GameCube kid. My brother was always a PS2 kid.
Oh, cool. He was able to join. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay, nice. No problem. But I was always the GameCube kid. My brother was PS2, and of course I got enamored with Ratchet and Clank by seeing all the commercials and playing it like in a Circuit City or something like that on like a demo disc. And then he saw like Twin Snakes, and so like there was that one night where we switched. So like I was in his room playing his PS2, and then he was in my room playing the GameCube, and then he went to school the next morning, and I was like, well, I gotta try this Metal Gear game out. He was like, I love GameCube. And I didn't really know what it was about, and then it's so good. And I remember my brother and I were playing together when they had the her number must be on the back of the package. And we're like, what package?
Yep.
Like, what are you talking about? And then it was like, then I looked on the back of the box, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's right here. Yeah. And like then we got farther on, I was like, you like to play Super Smash Brothers, do you?
Oh, man.
With Psycho Mantis.
Oh yeah, look at this guy's level 38. We got a pro.
Ooh, yeah. What I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna hit me until September 1st rolls around.
Yeah.
And I made the joke a few days ago on Twitter. It's like, oh, watch out, Metal Gear, Danganronpa's coming. But
I saw you made that. Yeah.
It's like, no, like, Danganronpa's great and all, but like, in no world does it exist that game is going to be anywhere near as good as. I mean, I would hope. I certainly hope Metal Gear Solid 5, blows my mind.
Yeah.
I anticipate that game to be one of my favorites of this year.
I remember I think it was 2013, they were like, Killzone Mercenary coming out September 6th, and like the next day, Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out September 6th or whatever. And I remember like the Killzone account tweeting something like, bring it on. like
Yeah,
bring
and
it
it's
on
like, yeah,
GTA, and then like
get real.
yeah,
guys.
exactly. Yep.
I mean, that was I had this conversation a few days ago. It was like put out Tearaway the same day that like the Mario game and the Zelda game come out. It's like, yeah, smart move.
Yeah. Yep.
um, it's like, yeah, why did that game not sell very well? Well, one, it was on the Vita, but two, like, come on. But yeah,
Yep.
I also kind of question Mad Max coming out that day. Like that to me, it's like
Yeah.
like, I mean, Mad Max will probably be a pretty big game, but Metal Gear is like an event. It's one of those event games.
Yeah.
And considering everything going on right now, like, man. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna read any of the stuff tomorrow that comes out.
I was contemplating it. I think I'll view a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to resist, but I think I might try to do my best to avoid at least most of it, just to...
Yeah.
Because at this point, we're like, we're a few months out.
Yep.
But I'm still... Part of me really thinks that there's something about that game that is just... They're gonna pull MGS2 or something. Like, part of me really wonders if they've got something planned that just no one knows about. That he's gonna try to pull.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that. Let's go out on a high note.
Yep.
But we'll see. I need to play Ground Zeroes again. I got it downloaded from Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to give that another playthrough.
Friends, Metal Gear fans, and I was just like, download it. Like, I was just like, oh, this is your. Well, I was sure about this with some of the boy coming to Team Meat kept saying like, well, we couldn't put it on PS3 for some reason, like a micro-8 exclusive. Like that's kind of what it seemed like to me. Did you hear any about that?
I don't know if we heard anything specifically, but it certainly seemed like it could, like that maybe potentially. I don't know. That was a weird announcement. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it. Like I'm glad I'll finally get a chance to play that game.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that seems like the most likely thing.
Yeah, like that's just kind of what it sounded like to me, because it was just like, well, there were reasons we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
We didn't have the, I don't know, something like that. It's like there were just certain circumstances where we couldn't release it.
Yeah.
It's just like the next gen excuse to do it.
I guess, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But... And it's, we've had similar situations where, like, Braid was, timed exclusive. Although, granted, it's been a lot longer since Super Meat Boy came out, but...
Sure, yeah.
So I don't know, maybe there was some kind of weird loophole where it's like, well, the PS3 can't have it, but... that's not the console now. Like, that's...
Yeah, because wasn't that game supposed to... Did that game ever come to WiiWare? Because, like, I thought it was
I don't think it did. It
WiiWare.
was supposed to, yeah.
Yeah, that was like the original platform it was announced for, I thought, with WiiWare.
Yeah, I believe so. And, it seems like... Well, I guess Binding of Isaac's coming to 3DS or something.
Oh, okay.
So I was gonna say that, like, Team Meat doesn't have a whole lot of luck with Nintendo, but I guess they do have at least Binding of Isaac coming. So I wonder if maybe Wii U might end up getting Super Meat Boy at some point later down the line.
Yeah.
If whatever situation has arisen to allow them to put it on different consoles.
Yeah.
So.
thing that could possibly make me buy Xbox One would be Banjo-Kazooie 3. Or Banjo 3.
3E.
Or whatever.
So it's funny you bring
3.
that up. So my coworker, who was a big Xbox person, he was asking me. He's like, what? He's like, what would they have to announce? Like, what would it take to get you to be on board with Xbox One? And I was like, honestly, I was like, it'd have to be one of two things. One, it would have to be like, just it would have 10 or so games announced over time that I would have to look at and be like, I've got to play those, and they're all exclusive to Xbox One. Like right now, there's like Scalebound and Sunset Overdrive are two that come to mind. I know, I think Cuphead looks really awesome, but I think that's on PC also.
Oh my goodness, that game looks gorgeous.
Yeah. Phil Spencer wears Cuphead t-shirt, that's what I'm calling.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so like there's there's maybe a little less than a handful right now that, off the top of my head, but it would have to be something like that, or I told him, like, it'd have to be like a major exclusive game that probably would never happen. And so I was like, if they came out and Phil Spencer like took off his jacket and like he was wearing a Mega Man t-shirt and Mega Man 11 was exclusive, or something like just completely insane. Like, it would be something like that, because I don't really have a huge tie to a lot of, the first party games that they would have.
Yeah, I really don't either that much.
So it would have to be a major third party thing, or it would just be like, just over time, like, here's just a ton of games that I really want to play. And there's one place I can play them. So that would be it too. And, probably at a cheaper price. But it's like, I don't know, it's like with Nintendo, it was, there's a handful of reasons why I would play a Nintendo game, or get a Wii U.
Yeah.
I think, and it helped that, like, they were selling those refurbished Wii U's that were essentially brand new for like $200 on their website. So it's like, well, okay, like, I'm gonna get this to play Zelda at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe I did that a bit prematurely, but at least actually, that's the thing. It's like, if this Zelda game ends up coming out on whatever the NX is, oh god. So help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I believe it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of NX. I do think it might be kind of, I do kind of see it being like that hybrid console portable thing people mention.
I guess that's like the easy answer of like, well, obviously it's this, because I would think so too, but there's also part of me that's like, well, it's too obvious, and Nintendo, like, you can't predict them, and it'll be something no one knows. We'll see.
The vitality sensor comes back.
There you go. That and the I think it might have been the same year when Ubisoft showed that like laser tag game.
Oh my goodness, I remember that.
I always wonder whatever happened to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it ever came out.
Oh.
Or at least that I remember. Like, I know it was a PC thing.
I just feel like that'd be like the toy aisle at Kmart or something like that.
Here's this like laser tag you plug it into your computer. I don't know.
Yeah. And then
like,
the guy was like, "This is something gamers have been waiting for." I'm like, no, we haven't.
Yeah, but see, like, that was totally a thing where it's like, man, this could be so cool, but like it won't ever be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And this time next week, we'll be in it. We'll be nearing the end of Sony's show.
Yeah.
We'll probably have seen Uncharted 4 and whatever Horizon is. Robo Dinosaurs. Sounds cool to me. Obviously The Last Guardian, that will.
Yeah, obviously last guy. Yeah. That was a heck of an announcement, wasn't that?
Yeah, that was something else. My worry is like they try to kick the show off with that, and then it's like, well, you can't start the show with a showstopper.
Yeah.
So I still like the just show it in the middle. No one expects it.
Yep.
Blindside everybody. But and I guess like the other thing is there's that one game. I think it's called Vane. It's like Vane. I think I don't remember the name of it. I want to say it was that, but it's by like some former Team Eco people. I don't know if you've seen it. But I remember like they had a website up like last year, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of footage of it. But I've always been curious to see anything more of that game. And also part of me is just like, here are these people making this small little indie game, and like it's a small team, but these like 3 or 4 people, they know. Like they probably know what's happening with The Last Guardian. Or like sometimes I just think like The Last Guardian or like or your Half-Life 3s of the world. Sometimes I stop and I think, it's like, there's probably about 5 or 10 people out there who know. Or like, there's somebody out there right now who's like working on a feather physics engine for the bird in The Last Guardian.
Sure.
And he just sits there and he goes home at night and he's like, sorry, I can't say what I'm working on. I'd like
goes home to his wife, like, I'm sorry, ma'am, you're gonna have to sign this NDA before I talk to you.
You just gotta trust me. Nothing's fishy going on. It's just, I can't say where I go during the day. I just can't tell you.
Yeah.
But hopefully that mystery comes to an end soon.
Yeah. Would love a new BioShock. Probably not this year. I thought maybe all that Advent stuff was gonna be it.
Yeah, that's what we thought too, but nope.
Yep.
Alright, you got him. Yeah, it sounded a whole lot like BioShock.
Yeah.
But I guess it also sounds a whole lot like XCOM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see where a new BioShock like is headed. Like what does BioShock look like post Ken Levine and all of that stuff.
Yeah. I would say my 3 franchises are Metal Gear, BioShock, and Ratchet, and I really like BioShock 2. Even something even a little more surprising with BioShock 2, I loved the multiplayer in BioShock 2.
Oh,
personally.
yeah?
I really liked it. Like, as next to Call of Duty 4, it was probably my most played multiplayer game on PS3. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I always remember, I think some interviews with Ken Levine said that, like, they messed around with multiplayer and Infinite, and I was like, you know what, I wouldn't have been opposed to that.
Yeah, I remember that. See, I really liked Infinite a lot.
Yeah, me too.
And it's always, that's one of those games where I know, like, I guess history hasn't been kind to it. If you go on like forums and read other people talk about it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games I always just kind of scratch my head and I was like, it really wasn't that bad, guys. It was a great game, actually.
I still love it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I bought that game at midnight, finished it in like a day or two, and just was like, I love this. Is an amazing game.
Yeah.
Like, I really just loved the ending and so many things about it. And it's the same with like.
Did you ever play?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you ever play Burial at Sea?
I did not, so I didn't play any of the DLC for it.
Oh, see, I don't know how to say it, but if you look at the Infinite story, that really like the Infinite game ended in 2013 wasn't really the ending.
Okay.
Because it really feels like everything in Burial at Sea is canon. Like, I guess basically the premise that it kind of sets up is, I'm trying to do it without spoiling the entire thing. But you know when all of the Elizabeths are kind of going away or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the very last note is all a black screen.
Uh-huh.
Supposedly, it's kind of to allude that there's actually one Elizabeth still alive.
Oh.
And that's kind of how Burial at Sea.
Okay.
That's kind of the premise of Burial at Sea. And I don't say anything else, but like they bring back Sander Cohen in one scene, which is awesome. But I mean, other than that, it's like they do a lot of fan service. There's some other characters that bring back too.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'd recommend playing it. I'd say it's worth playing. I don't really care for remasters at all, but if they ever had like Bioshock 1 and Infinite somehow remastered, I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
You know, I never. The fun thing is, like, I played Bioshock 2 and Infinite. I never played 1. I got spoiled on 1. Before like the PS3 version ever came out. It was like I was told, pretty much told the ending. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I understand the whole hubbub about that.
Yeah. It's still real. I'd say it's worth playing.
Yeah.
I'd say Bioshock 1's still worth playing. The endings are kind of not really that satisfying. Like the good ending is satisfying, but like the middle ending, like where you save some of the little sisters and harvest some, like isn't really that great. And then there's like the bad ending where you harvest all of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, some of the endings are okay, but yeah, I really like Bioshock 2. I know that game kind of gets a bad rap, but I really like it.
Oh crap. You guys at over there. Probably not gonna get there.
I think you got me.
Making my way over.
Gotcha. But of course, we're all awaiting that Bioshock Vita game.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you talk about ways to save the Vita.
Yes, exactly.
You know, shock it with Bioshock cross XCOM or something. Is there like a rumor about like an XCOM game coming to Vita? I saw some people talking about it a few weeks ago, and I'm like, what?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd buy into that, but whatever.
Huh. Yeah.
That totally would sound like one of their like third-party announcements, though. Like, oh yeah, we're bringing this to Vita.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Via remote play.
I watched I don't know. Well, I don't know how specific I want to be. I watched a video on YouTube a few nights ago entitled like the 5 lies Sony told about the Vita or something.
Oh yeah.
It's you know, it's something.
Sure.
There's like some things in there that I listen to and I'm like, that's some like revisionist history you've got going on.
Yeah.
But one of them was specifically Bioshock on the Vita, and it's like, yeah.
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 Someone I was kind of just watching like some highlights of old E3 press conferences, and you were mentioning Resident Evil Revelations a while back on the Vita, and it was really weird. They announced it was the same year, of course, in '09 they announced Last Guardian, and then of course Agent.
I know what's coming. Yep. Keep going.
They announced a Resident Evil PSP game.
Yeah, what happened to that?
Like, what happened to that? What happened to that? I was wondering if, like, I don't know. The only thing I could think of is maybe that turned into Revelations 1, but then wanted to support 3DS.
You know what? Now that you say it, I think that might. I mean, I don't. I feel like I've heard people say that, or like I've heard people speculate that could be the case, and that makes sense to me. Like. Maybe at that point the Vita was, going away. The Vita was, or not. The PSP was going away. The Vita was, maybe not quite new until you had the 3DS. So I could maybe. That makes sense to me. Like.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a repurposed PSP game. And now we have that. I still have never played the first Revelations.
It's not great. It's pretty predictable. Like very predictable. Like you can be like, well, I don't know what happens next.
I think I watched like a movie cut version of it or something. Like, I think before Revelations 2 came out or something, just to kind of be caught up on it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I have hope
I remember.
for RE.
Yeah, I remember
a
long time ago. I think I watched one of your videos on Revelations 2, and you made like the Terra save or terrorist joke or whatever.
Yes, I love that.
So it's kind of weird because there was a city in Revelations 1 called Terra Grigia, which I didn't know if that was like what it was relating to. Like I wasn't sure.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, Resident Evil 2 is good.
Yeah.
I was convinced that game was gonna be hot garbage, but I'm so glad it's not. I'm so glad it turned out.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll do another one here.
I guess RE7's probably too early, or I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. Because I mean, we had 6, because Resident Evil or Revelations 1 and RE6 came out the same year.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get RE7 later this year, but
yeah,
it's been a while, and I don't know. I just wonder if maybe. I guess smart money is on like Capcom looking at the REHD and Revelations 2 and like kind of looking at their reception and kind of figuring out, okay, like RE6 was a mess, you know, where do we go?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I will be that one guy at the back of the class that raises his hand slowly and goes, I kind of liked RE6.
you know that Resident Evil 6, the game was
guy.
alright. Look, to be fair, I never played it, and so I'm just kind of, you know, I know that the prevailing kind of wisdom on that game is not kind.
Yeah.
But, you know, honestly, like, you're not the only one. I've heard quite a few people, you know, come out and be like, you know, I like that game for what it was. It's, you know, it's not, you know, it's whatever. I feel like it's the same with, like, Dead Space 3. It's like, I played 30 minutes of that game, and it's like, this is not what I want. But I've heard a lot of people be like, you know, I like that game. And so I guess it's, you know, it comes down to taste, obviously, like everything does. But
yeah.
I would like to see what kind of the future holds for that series, because I think, I mean, Revelations 2 has me hopeful. And I think it's one of those things where, to me, that game proves that that somebody at Capcom is aware of, like, that it's okay to be silly and dumb. And it's okay to have these really bad jokes, and it's okay, and, you know, Barry's a great character, and they know why he is, so I've got hope. But, I mean, I also, like, saw today, like, somebody on GAF was saying that, like, they've heard DMC5 might show up next week.
Oh, cool.
Which, I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, it would make sense. I mean, we've had all these Devil May Cry remasters, and it's been a little while, and I think
kind of on a whim, I played DMC, the PS3 one, when it was on free on Plus. And I was like, the Ninja Theory one. I was like, I never really was into like the Devil May Cry, but I played that game. I was like, this is really good.
I love
really like that game.
Yeah, I mean, I know I know that's another very divisive game, but I love DMC. You know,
I really liked it.
And that you know, I'm also not a huge, like, a mega fan of that franchise. I do like it, but I mean, that was also like when that game was revealed, I was totally one of those people like, man, what did they do to Dante? Like, what? But I came around, and I think that, and I also was not a Ninja Theory fan at all. Like, Heavenly Sword I liked, I did not care for Enslaved. I think Hellblade looks interesting, but yeah, like that game surprised me in many different ways, and I think it's just, yeah, like I honestly, I want to go and get the PS4 version, like when it's cheap, and just play through it again.
That'd be cool.
So it's fun, like, it's just a lot of fun, and it's got like some really, really cool level design towards the end of that game.
Yeah. Because even some of the times I was like, alright, here's this big ugly monster, and we're getting ready to fight him, then this like crazy rock music just started kicking in. I'm like, yeah, like let's
Yeah.
do this. Like, you know, Dante just starts cussing all over the place, and I'm like, here we go.
And really, like, I mean, I guess, yeah, I haven't played it, but it sounds like this new version, like the remaster they did, it sounds like they've actually did answer a lot of kind of the complaints that like the fans had of it.
Oh,
It
good.
sounds like they did change quite a bit, so I'd be curious to go back and. I mean, if DMC5 does show up, that would be something.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we see more Street Fighter 5. Speaking of Capcom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Talk about the mess of Ultra Street Fighter 4. All
oh
that.
boy, oh,
Kind of a mess.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. That's like when they came back and said like, well, you know, Ultra Street Fighter 4 at Evo's is gonna be on 360. Like that was the biggest like slap in the face.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I was just like, oh.
yeah, when you put that game out, you should probably make sure that it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know, you know. I feel like the question is always like, how does things like that happen? And I'm sure it's a more complicated answer than, you know, what we think it might be. But yeah, that's rough. I mean, I don't know. They put that patch out. I don't know how much that first patch did, but they responded quick at the very least. So that's good. I guess they have to.
Speaking of games launching broken,
Yeah, how about Fallout?
I did kind of. Well, I was thinking of my bold prediction, and I don't know it's really that bold, but I was thinking they're gonna go out on stage and they're gonna be Drive Club the entire game.
Okay, yeah.
Free on PlayStation Plus. I could see that, like that could be like an out right now kind of thing.
I think that's a real good. Like that's a. I think the full game part is probably your boldness, but I think like Drive Club, you know, being out on Plus is like a really good. Almost almost like a safe bet in a way. Like if we talk about like things that like there's your it's out right now, like Drive Club is totally there, top of the list of like candidates for that. And I guess like yeah, it's tough because like how do you? I feel like the subject has to be broached in a way, or maybe it doesn't. But I know some people probably feel like you've gotta mention it.
I'd say so.
And that's a really good like yeah like look like we obviously we screwed up here. They'd have to spin it. I don't know if we'd get an outright "we're sorry." But I do like the idea of like even if it's not the full game, like if they give even more than what they were planning on giving. Which I bought that game a few months ago, so maybe I'm part of the problem of like the conspiracy of like, oh well, they're gonna hold it, and so some people just won't wait until they'll buy it. So I was one of them, and I don't like that game as much as I was hoping. Mainly because I'm not like I just don't like sim racing games too much, so my fault. But it's a very pretty game, and it's it's fun, but. Like thinking back on what the PlayStation Plus version offered, and it's like, man, that's actually not like a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. So, and I'll be very curious to see how they handle it.
They even had to backtrack on what was that policy where like if you upgraded to the full game, like you what was that? You remember that at all?
Yeah,
like it was a thing.
There was some sort of upgrade. I want to say maybe it was. God, I don't remember. I remember that because there was some sort of upgrade. I want to say maybe the price was like really high. Still, like it wasn't a huge discount. Maybe that was it. I don't remember. I know that.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't. I guess I'd have to look at the trophy list because I remember they said there was enough content where you could platinum the game. And I don't know if that's true.
That,
I don't know if that's still true or not. At least for what they had planned, because it seems like. I'm not sure. I'd have to. It's weird. I feel like they've got to address it. It's got to be soon. That's the other thing. Like that game's been getting a number of patches recently that, in the patch notes, has explicitly stated, preparing. Adding things to help stabilize the servers to prepare for the imminent PS Plus version. And it's like, okay,
Ooh.
Like there was one like a week ago that had that in it again for like the third time. And it's like, all right, I'll believe it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's yeah. I hope that doesn't like. I hope Evolution ends up being okay in the long run.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already lost Studio Liverpool, so
That one probably hurt the most out of when all the closures happened.
That one still to this day kills me.
So I actually have the that like PlayStation Rewards card. For like the points and stuff. That's pretty much what I do all for like PlayStation Plus. Like I just resubscribe to PlayStation Plus every year.
Oh, there you go.
Using all that. But it was on sale, and it's like on sale like today for 597 points, which is like $3.
Yeah.
Was Little Deviants. I was like, all right, I gotta give this a try. So I was like, rest in peace, Big Dig. Like I'll get this game. I haven't even tried it. I opened it, but I haven't tried it yet.
I was gonna ask what you thought of it, because
no, I was like, I haven't really had an urge to play it. I was like, I'll try it.
I'm trying to think of who it was. One of our first dev chats we did. One of the guys we talked to used to work there. He told us, he's like, yeah, one of the games I worked on was Little Deviants, and he's like, I'm not gonna talk about it
Oh no.
So
Ooh.
You know, it's always good.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, you know, talk about crazy predictions. Wipeout. There you go. Sony.
I'd be excited for one.
That was the best racing game last generation. Wipeout HD and Fury. I always really I got super hyped up about Fury because like if you look back, like Fury cost $10. It was half the cost of that game, and it added it was pretty much double the content of what was already there because it was like it's a brand new campaign.
Pulse, wasn't it? Was the one before? Or oh no, you're thinking of HD.
Wipeout HD, yeah, it's Wipeout HD, and then
PSP for some reason.
Yeah, so Wipeout HD had like its full campaign. It was a full game at $20. Then for $10, you got Wipeout Fury, and it was like a brand new campaign, just as long. Like a bunch of new maps, like 2 or 3 new modes or something. It was essentially the same size of the full game. You know, for half the price, and that was just. I was so happy with that. And then they killed them.
Did you, I might have just accidentally missed it, but did you play 2048 at all?
Yes. On the Vita, yeah. That was, that game pretty much sold me on the Vita.
Oh,
I mean, I was gonna get it anyways, like, I kinda had to, but that was a major factor.
Yeah.
Never got the platinum for 2048. I got HD's platinum, but I think 2048 like had some online trophies that were I never really got a chance to get, and I don't know if it's possible anymore.
Yeah. It's been that way with a lot of games. It's like, oh, you know, I could try and get this, but then it's like server's not available anymore.
Sure. I think the servers might still be up, but it's one of those, because there's some where it's like you gotta organize like a party of 7 people, and you've all gotta be using the Chrome ship or something like that, so. I don't know, I wouldn't. Sounds like that series is just dead, and even at that point, like there's that, I don't know if you saw, there's a Kickstarter that I think ended recently where some people from Studio Liverpool making a game that's like totally not Wipeout.
Yeah, I saw, I don't know that I heard something about that, yeah.
I need to check, I don't even know if it got funded, because it looked like it was like going to be really close. And it's one of those things that you look at and it's like, yeah, that's totally Wipeout. I hope it's good, like I hope that comes out one day and it's awesome. Because I would love a game like that. But who knows? Maybe we'll get F-Zero.
Yeah. Oh man, I'd love an F-Zero. Oh, probably buy a I love F-Zero GX on GameCube. I love that game. Well, speaking of Banjo-Kazooie and Kickstarters, I put down probably maybe way too much money for the ukulele Kickstarter.
Okay.
Maybe just a little bit too much. Maybe like $150 worth.
That's a lot.
I know.
You did not
I'm
know.
so excited.
You're making that up.
I'm so excited. No, man, I'm dead serious. I've got like the
What
physical.
tier
I've
was
got,
it?
I
Or
know,
like,
I've
yeah,
got
what do you get?
I've got the physical PC version coming.
Oh my god.
I've got like the soundtrack. I think it has like a T-shirt in it. Oh, I was so excited.
Oh my god.
Like that was kind of when I was like right after I got like. See, this is what happened. This was like right after, like, you know, this was right after, you know, your tax day happened.
Sure.
And I was like, I got all my money back, and I was like, you know what? I'm spending a lot. I was like, Grant Kirkhope, David Wise.
There's reason to be excited.
Like, yes,
sure.
I know, so that's why I'm kind of like, all right, I'm going all in on this.
Wow.
So I guess there's still time to pull some money out, but it's got like 8 days. It's got like 8 days left.
Yeah,
but
you know, if an emergency hits, it's like, all right, I can
yeah,
drop down a few
exactly.
tiers.
Yep. Yeah. But
wow.
like that was my childhood. That was my
Sure.
childhood. When I was like in middle school, I would come home and play Banjo-Kazooie all day.
You know, if
I don't have any revives.
I got another one, I'll see if I can
Okay.
maybe clear out some of these guys real quick and revive somebody where our health is real low. Honestly, like, I was gonna say like if a Wipeout Kickstarter came up, but it would be like, I feel like that's what we were just talking about, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know. There probably is something out there that if it popped up, I don't know if I'd be willing to drop that much money.
Yeah.
But I probably there definitely are things I would be willing to drop money on. Like Mighty Number 9, I kickstarted, but I think I pulled out with like a week to go because I kind of thought about it and I was like, well, I just kind of I talked myself out of it and I was like, yeah, it's it's whatever. I still fully plan on getting that game. I'd like to review it, but if I'm not the reviewer, I will still buy that game. So
I think I put down $5 towards that. Like, yeah, ukulele was like the big one where I'm like, all right, I'm going all in on this.
How do you feel about the character designs for ukulele?
I think it looks awesome. I love that bat. Like, the bat. I think he looks awesome.
I like the name. I really like the name a lot.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because it was originally Project Ukulele, and then they just named it Ukulele. I thought that was pretty clever.
I know there's something about those Yuka and Lele's character designs that looks. I hate to say it like this. Sometimes when you make a game based off like a really good game that you're fans of, or that you made, I guess in this case, like it has like a really cheap look to it.
Sure, I can see that.
To me, and it's one of the, and maybe it's just because it's so early, right? Like to me, something about those two characters just looks like knockoff in a way, even though it's totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the people who made Banjo, like, or at least some of them. It's.
Yep.
So that's I also don't have a huge connection to Banjo-Kazooie. I would be much more excited about a Conquer game.
Sure. I never really got into Conquer. I think I played it a little bit, but I wasn't.
Excuse me.
I was excited for the Project Spark kind of thing. But
yeah.
I mean, like, excited in the fact that he was coming back, not for the fact that
there was this acknowledgement, like, oh yeah, Conquer. I've been watching the Game Informer replay of Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
Oh yeah, I saw that was on.
Really enjoying that, and also just like having my memory like charged every time they get to a new area, and it's like, oh right, yeah, this thing happened, like the vampire part.
Yep.
Whoa. And it was weird. I was telling one of my friends, I was like, the more I think about it, Conquer like puts me in the mind of like if these guys were like, what if we made like Duke Nukem but like for kids, but they still couldn't get away from like the super adult humor and like and cursing and stuff. Like that's kind of what it put me in the mind of in a weird way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember playing that when I was a kid and just being like, what? I don't even know what's going on. Like, he was in Diddy Kong